Bloomsbury Fashion Central is a great resource that includes a lot of different types of content related to fashion research. It includes everything from textbooks to fashion photography to analysis, including both articles and books about fashion, to even case studies that might be used in classes. So it is really an important database to understand how to navigate. In this video, we're going to go over a few of the different ways you can find and use content in Bloomsbury Fashion Central. Let's start at the top of the page. So you'll notice that there is a top menu here that offers a variety of different options. Let's start by looking at the Browse By option. So if we look for Browse By, we can see that there are several different ways you can browse. You could browse by content type, organizations and design houses, people, time period, or place or location, which would be like country or region. Under collections, you'll see that they divide their content between different collections of types of materials. The Berg Fashion Library has a lot of the academic writing about fashion and analysis of fashion, and those are books in the library that are ebooks. Fairchild Books Library has more textbooks that convey practical information and might be assigned in FIT classes. Bloomsbury Fashion Business Cases have case studies that can be used in classes as well. And the Bloomsbury Fashion Photography Archive has hundreds of images of museum items, catwalks, and more. The only one of these collections that we do not have access to currently is Bloomsbury Fashion Video Archive. The third way to browse is by going to the timelines. The timelines are a way of navigating fashion through history. There are 3 of them: Survey of Historic Costume, International Fashion Shows, and Global Dress and Fashion. And all of them organize fashion information by timeline. Taking a look at one of these, you'll see that the Survey of Historic Costume goes from the ancient world all the way to modern time, and it includes chronological information about fashion with images, as well as context information. So, for example, if I wanted to look at the 19th century, which I clicked on here, I would see at the top some images, a total of 8 you can tell from this number. And then if I scroll down, I would see these little markers, and as the key at the bottom tells me, these relate to different types of information about that time period. So let's say I was interested in economics and trade. I could click here, and this is going to tell me a little bit about the relevant economic and trade information for that period to give me context for the fashion information. Going back up to the top, let's take another look at the Browse By option. So I had mentioned that you can browse. So let's say we wanted to look for an individual designer. I would click on People, and now you can see that you have alphabetical list of people with these numbers next to them indicating how many items relate to them. Those items could really be anything from images to articles and more. And you can really pick anyone you want to take a look at. So we're going to take a look at Calvin Klein for a moment. If I click on Calvin Klein, you'll see that at the top there are going to be image results, and these focus a lot of times on individual items, either on displays as you see here or on catwalks. And you can see more images by clicking more. And then if we scroll down, you're going to see information that's pulled from various places about Calvin Klein. So these are going to be, you can see this is a book chapter, but it could also be an encyclopedia entry or an article, for example. If I wanted to read this book chapter because it mentioned Calvin Klein, I could click on the title and I'll be taken to this entry. There will be any images, as you can see at the top, and then full text for the entry. With these you can save, print, share, or cite. If you want to cite the item, for example, in a paper, clicking the citation can be a good option. It's going to allow you to select which citation system you're interested in, APA, MLA, or Chicago. And then once you've selected the appropriate citation system, you would click Copy to Clipboard and then paste it into your project. This is a great way to make sure that you have properly cited any information that you get from this database. Let's go back to Browse By and try one of the other categories. So let's say that you wanted to go to a specific design house. You could also click on Design House, and it's going to be very similar, alphabetical order, and you can just select what you are most interested in. So let's say we're interested in Anna Sui. I'm going to click, and you'll see that the layout is very similar. First, you're going to have images, and then you will have relevant written content. You can always limit your results through these Refine the Results option on the left. You can specify that you only want certain types of content. So you could say you just want fashion show images. You can focus on particular themes that are covered in this search results. Design and making, which would get into things like construction. The type of garment. Fashion business mentions related to this design house. Individual people, periods, places, textiles, materials, or colors. All of those will allow you to limit your search results if you've gotten too many and a lot of them aren't relevant. Now, throughout the time that you are navigating in Bloomsbury Fashion Central, you'll also be seeing a search bar. This is on the home page as well as in all the search result pages. Using this search bar, you can run a search for any topic you might be interested in. So let's say that you are particularly interested in knowing more about Dior. You could run a search. And you'll see that the search results are organized just as the browsing results were. Images are at the top, and then text results are at the bottom, including book chapters and more. The Refine Results options remain the same as well. Bloomsbury Fashion Central does offer a more advanced search option as well if you are doing complicated searches. This would allow you to specifically say that you're interested in a particular content type right from the start. So it would basically allow you to refine your search before you run it. Now, another element of Bloomsbury Fashion Central that I want to show you is that in addition to finding information about their collections up here, you can also navigate to the collections down here. So you can navigate to items from the various collections using these sort of thematic where to start options. But you can also come down here and go specifically into a particular collection that you're interested in. This is very helpful if you're looking for a particular book and you know it's in either Berg Fashion Library, which is really more fashion studies academic works and reference sources, or in Fairchild Books Library, which is really their textbook collection. So let's say, for example, that you were interested in seeing if the textbook for your class was available through Bloomsbury Fashion Central for free. You can click on this link and you'll be taken to the Fairchild Books Library within Bloomsbury Fashion Central. You can navigate either by subject or, more likely if you're looking for a particular book, just by clicking Explore. This will give you an alphabetical list of all of their books. So let's say you were interested in a book like, for example, Dynamics of Fashion. That might be a textbook for your class. You would click on the link, and this is going to take you to a page for this book. This book is going to be available full text here. So to get to it, though, you have to scroll down. You'll see first that you have the ability to search just within this single book, and then you have the table of contents. If you know, for example, that you're supposed to read Chapter 3, you would click on the Chapter 3 in the table of contents to go to a separate page and then scroll down to find the full text of that chapter. Books of this sort in the Fairchild Library include their interactive content as well. So if there are any quizzes or flashcards associated with the book, those will be listed in the table of contents as well. You can save this item if it's something you're going to be using all semester, print it, share it with someone else via email, or cite to it, again using the citation systems that we mentioned before and by copying to the clipboard. That is how you navigate Bloomsbury Fashion Central. There's a lot here. We only touched on a tiny piece of it. As I mentioned, there are whole other collections, such as Berg Fashion Library, which you might need if you're doing research on fashion topics, and the Fashion Business Cases, which you might need for some of your classes. So I would really recommend that you explore everything that this database has to offer. If you have questions on this or anything else, please ask the library.